clock, and here we go. All right. I'm going to feature myself here as I let folks know what's going on. Welcome to the Master Connection series. And
what's going on, guys?
There we go. There's Steve Spiro.
What's happening? How's it going there, gang? Going to be an incredible session here. Looking forward to it. Got a great panelists. It's going to be amazing.
The Master Connection series. And
what's going on, guys?
So we got some kind of volume in the background.
There's Steve
so maybe
Spiro.
I'm connected over here.
What's happening? How's it going there, gang?
Yeah, I think it's me. All right. So we are warming up. We will get this together here with our tech. We always come on early to let folks know that we are making it happen. And at 2 o'clock, we will go live. I'm going to let you guys know what's going on. And some of our guests, I know, were expressing a little bit of hesitance on knowing what's going on, but we get into this every Friday at 2 p.m. We discuss an issue, but it's all about connecting. It's all about using LinkedIn and getting into the power of connection. We have Steve Spiro, the master connector, bringing us all together to let you know how to better connect with your audience, with your connections, to improve your business and make sure that you are worthy of connecting with your connections. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about being a giver and not a taker today. Steve, I'm going to let you banter it out and get my countdown clock up while you talk.
Absolutely. Hopefully, I did have StreamYard up twice, so maybe that was why I was getting a little reverb. So I think we're good.
No, it was me. I got too many windows open. That's what it is.
Is that what it is? Okay. See that? I was ready to take the fall and the blame, you know? Got to be a giver, not a taker, right? But it's going to be a great series. It's going to be a great show today. I know some of the every one of the panelists has a lot of great things to offer, and I've spoken to them. I know some of them pretty well, and I know that you're going to get a lot of value out of today. And I know they're excited to share their experiences, their thoughts. And we're not perfect here. This is, I think, our sixth, if not seventh show. So we're still working out the kinks, and we're not claiming to be perfect and like super high tech and great with everything. So if things go a little funny, it's all right. Give us some grace, So anyway, look at that. Cameron's got the clock going on. Are we going to do the? Yeah, you look small there, sir. Where'd you go?
This is Minicam. How you doing?
I love
We're going to get going. So we got 7 minutes until we go live at 2. Please like, comment, and share. Spread this out to as many people as you can. We got Lee Tapp. We have Pi. We have Mahena. We have Ashley all ready to talk about being a giver and not a taker. We're going to get into this live at the top of the hour, 2 o'clock. We'll get into it. And yes, I'll get some of the audio working. So I'm going to disappear a little bit, Steve, and you just run the show here while I get some of the technical pieces together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's going on, Lee? Looks like you got a workout in just a few minutes ago, huh? You're muted, sir. That's Cameron's favorite line, 2020 theme song, right? You're muted.
Muted. I actually did. I got a nice little workout in. It's about 74 degrees here, so can't complain.
We're feeling bad for you. I know that, weather's not so great, huh? Oh, Robert Pearson's in the house. Hey, what's going on, Robert? Good to see you, sir. Guess we're going to be getting to his questions here shortly. So, what's going on, Pi? It's good to. I know we were chatting back and forth today on messaging.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. Congratulations on the big deal. I'm super excited to talk to you in more detail.
Yes. Yeah, that was wow. That was an interesting thing, but it was great. So
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Excited to see all of you, and just put on a good show as best as we can.
You guys are going to do great. What's going on, Ashley? How are you doing?
Hey, doing good. How are you?
Doing excellent. Thanks. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I like your screen back there. Very cool. Branding. There we go.
We just put that up on the wall in the conference room. So I was like, oh, what better way?
Oh, that's really good. It looks really, really good. So it looked like it's almost a virtual background, you know?
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
It is
But
real.
better because it's real, you know? So very cool. McGenna, how we doing?
I'm doing great. So excited to be here.
I see you're all patriotic with your flag back there. You got the tree, the little rubber tree plant back there, and yep, some accessories. Very nice, very nice.
Safety first. There is a reason behind this.
Uh-huh.
Your hard hat, safety first.
Yeah.
And then accomplishments is on the second, whatever shelf, and then fun is always after.
Okay. There you go. Very cool. Very cool.
Anyways, no, it's great. I look forward to be a part of this, and thank you so much, Skip, for
Of course.
the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking, the thing is I think, reason I picked you all after speaking to you all, or obviously, like I said, we have some of you guys I've got a relationship already with, but I feel like you, of all the people in my network, are embody being a giver, not a taker, right? The idea of giving, and so in different ways, everyone's different and unique, right? But I believe that so if you are a little bit nervous being on broadcast for the first time. Some of you not, obviously, but don't worry about it, because you know what? When you speak from the heart, when you speak from I don't know about you guys, but when I had to do speech class, oh my gosh, it was like it was so crazy, because you had to memorize, and then but this is just us talking from the heart, right? It should be something that you had to prepare. This is the first time, this is the first show that actually I got a chance to take a peek at the questions camera is going to throw at us. I don't even know what they are half the time, because I don't want to know. I just want to just be able to, okay, what's the question? Let's just talk from the heart, shoot from the hip. And I believe that authenticity and that transparency is what our viewers love about what we're doing. You know what I mean? So don't be nervous. Don't be a little skittish. Just share. The network that at least I like to surround myself with. They know I'm not perfect, very much so, right? I did a Fired Up Friday video just a little bit ago, and I was stumbling a little bit, and so what? We're right. There you go, and my wife Liz chiming in there with the more you give, the more you get. Yes, very true, very, very true. And that's what we're doing here today, right? We're giving, and I believe that if you give, you eventually get. So I'm excited to hear everyone's perspective. This is going to be a great show. Really, really cool. Good stuff. And I'm very appreciative of Cameron. I mean, if you guys checked out his Tuesday LinkedIn Live broadcast, there he is, Minicam Cameron. He's got a LinkedIn Live networking Tuesdays at noon Eastern Standard Time. He pulls in some amazing quality people. The best networking event I've ever been to, because it's fun, it's interactive. We dance, I mean, it's just great. So come check it out if you have a chance on Tuesdays at noon. He also has a really cool YouTube channel to check out with some great content. He does interviews every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with some great people. So please feel free to subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's got some great stuff. You want to talk about somebody who's a giver. Cameron reinvented himself big time. He was in the event staffing business for years and doing great at that. And then, of course, COVID hit, right? The wrecking ball COVID. And he had to kind of completely reinvent, but love what he's putting together. And he's just an amazing man. And he's a great value for me in my life personally, because I don't know if I would have been able to pull the show off if it wasn't for him, and if it isn't for him. And I know he has his hands. I don't know. Cameron, you got like what, 10 kids, something like that? Or what is it? How many kids you got?
We got 4 kids under our roof, and I got a 24-year-old walking around in the world out there, which drives my passion. Crazy.
So life's full enough just on a family side, let alone all the things he's doing business-wise. So we appreciate him big time, So
appreciate it. All right, guys, we're getting close to the top of the hour here. I'm going to introduce our panel. I'm trying to pull the technical elements together to do this stuff. I think I'm going to kind of skip the some of the audio stuff this week. and we'll bring it back for next week, Steve, as I pull things together and
no worries.
Together with the technical piece here. All right, guys, I'm going to take us into the show. Let me switch my camera so we can get rid of the countdown. Hopefully the delay in my video will go away. All right, back to regular size. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Welcome for coming to the Master Connections series. We are going to get into it. We're going to talk about how you should be a giver and not a taker, and the methods, the mindset, the motivation behind all of that. I'm looking very much forward to introducing our panel today. I'm going to start with Lee Taft. Here we go. Mr. Lee Taft. And let's get the banner down here so you guys can see his name, Mr. Lee Taft. Lee has been involved with coaching for over 30 years as a sport and performance coach. Currently is a consultant and coach to other coaches wishing to learn a model and systems of how to improve performance for athletes of all abilities. Lee also offers many coaching courses and products to help coaches discover his methods and strategies. And we're going to go over to Ashley now. And Ashley, there we go. Ashley is a vice president, founding partner at NextPath Career Partners. NextPath is a certified minority, women-owned business started by leading industry veterans to raise the bar on what a recruitment firm should be. Their belief is they have two sets of customers, the companies they help find great talent for, but also the candidates who trust them with their careers. They aim to get results for both sets of customers in everything they do. And then we're going to head over to Mehenna. There we go. Hey, Mehenna. All right. And Mehenna, she sent me her bio, and I got a different place, of course. Excuse me, guys, as I go dig for this.
It is Magena, just to make sure we say her name right. Magena is how we pronounce her name. Yeah, I'm saying it wrong now all of a sudden. I don't know. I've been saying Magena for a while.
Introduce her, Steve, because I'm trying to find the bio and it's coming up slow.
Yeah, so I'm going to wing it here a little bit, but I know Magena has an incredible background, originally from the beautiful country of Albania, came here, and now she's in sales for Able Services. What's incredible about Magena is she's an absolute giver. So she's always looking. I know when we initially connected, she's like, okay, she was bombarding me with people she wanted to connect me with. So she's an incredible person to connect with. So I highly recommend, endorse that you connect with her.
All right, beautiful. And I'm going to have you introduce Pi, because, of course, you know Pi very well.
Yeah, so Pi and I are fellow coworkers. She's a mommy. She's a business lady. She is, actually, I don't remember her title with Quadient, but she does a lot of things in the business process automation category, along with what she's doing with inclusion and diversity in the company. So really, really great resource, great energy, great heart, and incredible addition to this panel.
Beautiful. Yes. Global product marketing. Did I get that right? Yes.
There it is. That's it.
All right. Sorry. Steve Spiro, the master connector. Go from shy to awesome. He's going to let you know how to connect with the world. Go ahead, Steve, and introduce yourself in the show, and we'll get into the topic for today.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Hey, folks. So, hey, yes, it's Steve Spiro, the master connector. So Cameron and I really appreciate you tuning in. Welcome to our show each week on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We come at you with engaging content on how you can also be a master connector. As Cameron said, as a shy, introverted kid from the Bronx to someone who has grown a massive network and can talk to just about anyone, there's definitely been a lot of great lessons I've learned along the way. And like most of us now, it's been a winding road from starting out in an advertising company out of college to martial arts studio to technology sales and now consulting and mentoring. Self-development has really been a crucial piece of it for me. And I've learned to adapt and keep growing like a lot of us have. I love sharing what I've learned to make sure to, so make sure to check out my Fired Up Friday Master Connector tip videos that I post every Friday. I put out one just before the show. Thanks to my friend Sean Lashley of 10,000 Cards, who helps us with one of our sponsors of this show. I have a digital card that catalogs all of my I don't know, 60 something weeks in one place. So check that out. DM me if you want to get a copy of that, and I'll send you the digital card. But during this Master Connection series, each week, our goal is to gather subject matter experts, like you heard, to impart their wisdom on all of us, including Cameron and I, of course, right? We are always learning, and you got to keep growing. It's key. It's so important here. And I'm blessed to have my co-host, Cameron Toth, founder of Toth Event Staffing, and now the host of Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Biz Dev Live networking on Tuesdays at 12 noon, both Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss either. So we have a great lineup today. I know Cameron just introduced them, so I can't wait to hear what everyone has to say. And I'm going to turn it back to my man, Mr. Cameron Toth.
So we want to do a little crowd appreciation here. We got Robert, 1031 Rob in the house.
What's up, Robert?
Checking in. Guys, I want you to share this, comment, ask questions, go crazy in the comments. Make sure you're sharing this, bringing other people to the channel here. I want to shout out Chris Dutra. I want to shout out Sophie. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for commenting. We got Sean. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We got Sean Coakley from New Jersey. Ray's checking in. We got Joe.
Ray is the man. Can I just say something? Ray, I don't know how many people, but he said he was bringing about 100 people to this show. So Ray, thank you. You are the man. You want to talk about the master connector? I've learned a lot from Ray. He is just amazing. He's a bear of a man, incredible heart. Actually, McGenna and I know each other. Mutual connection is Ray. So I don't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to make sure I threw that in about Ray, okay?
Absolutely. We really appreciate you, Ray. Thanks for bringing people to the show. I'm going to keep going through here just to make sure everybody feels recognized, make them feel like we love you, because that is the absolute truth. Hope, thank you for checking in from White Plains. 1031, thanks for the shout out. Chris, thanks for hosting Cheers from the Elevator Trade. Yeah, there we go. We got Glenn Ingram checking in. Katie, shouting out McGenna. Yes. Sophie, Jillian, hopefully I'm saying these names right. Somebody will correct me, hopefully, if I'm wrong. Sean Lashley, who's presenting a digital card to each of our panelists and will reward a digital card to the person that brings the most people into the stream. So start the count. We'll have one of our panelists decide after looking at the stream. So we'll get somebody brave that can make that call for us. And thanks for Diane and Elizabeth for putting up posts before the event. We really appreciate you. Keep telling us where you're tuning in from. I'm really excited to see all of the people on here. I know we got 41 viewing right now, so it's really exciting. So talk to us about your challenges with giving back, how you think you should be giving, what do you think is appropriate, what do you think is not. Thank you for all of my folks. We're getting so many comments come through here. Westchester's in the house. Scott, thanks for being on here. You guys are amazing. I can't even keep up with all the comments. Donna, thanks for checking in from Atlanta. 1031 Staten Island, Shaolin Island in the house. David J. Brown from New Jersey. Yes. Ray says, thank you. We appreciate you. Chris Dutra from the 914. A lot of 914 in here. Amy shouting up Jenna. Yes. Chris throwing his LinkedIn there. People connect with each other in the comments. This is what it's all about. Amy checking in from Boston. Chris, I'm going to keep throwing these up here. Know that I love you, but I want to get the conversation. You all tuned in for a reason. So I'm going to get the conversation going. And so the first question today is how to be a giver while networking. For my panelists, I want you to throw up the in the private chat if you want up next. I'm going to throw Steven into the mix. Steve, how are you a giver while networking?
So it's interesting, right? So I had a Zoom video call just earlier today. Surprise, surprise, right? And this question came up, and you know what? The challenge is, right? A lot of times when you and Ray is probably the best on this group here. Ray Imparato, he's amazing, right? But a lot of times you give, but she said to me, well, I give all the time, but I don't necessarily get. What do you do about that? And I said, listen, a couple things is, number one, when you give, if you don't have an ongoing relationship, not everyone's going to want to give you reciprocate necessarily, right? Because if they don't know you yet, why are they going to expose you to their network? So number one, when you give, also give by maybe introducing them to some of the networking events you do. I often talk about, Cameron's, Tuesdays and this and other opportunities, so they could stay in your network and kind of see what you're about. And then now they'll be more comfortable perhaps to refer you. And then the second part of it is, as you grow your big network, why not give away, say, hey, listen, see if there's anyone in my network, maybe a half dozen people that I'm happy to make an introduction to you. So that's how you could be a giver in a way that's reasonable. Invite them to certain things at your event you're attending, let them in your network, and then potentially introduce them.
Mahena, I know you wanted to jump in. I'm saying it wrong, right? So correct me. It's Magena? Magena, thank you.
Got it. I agree with Steve 100%. My way of networking and being able to share my network with others, especially when we have in-person events, is by reaching out to people in the room, bringing my friends with me, make that in-person introduction. That always helps. And nowadays that we are networking virtually, it's definitely sharing contacts, inviting them to your Zoom calls, asking them, how can I help you? Because not everyone is comfortable, connecting through a computer. So there's many different ways. And yes, that's how I network.
Love it. All right. I know Ashley wanted to jump in. Go ahead, Ashley.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for asking me on. I guess for me, from the staffing perspective on how to be a giver while networking, I'd have to go with, when I'm connecting with someone for the first time, just asking them, hey, I like to get to know all of my LinkedIn connections, and let's just have a chat and make it really easy and, no expectations, right? And just have a connection with them and talk with them and see, maybe open up the conversation and ask them, hey, is there something I can help you with? Or did you see that I was connected with someone that you wanted to be connected with? And maybe break the ice like that.
I love it. All right. And I know that Pi wanted to jump in here. Go ahead, Pi.
Sure. Hi, everyone. For me, as our panelists said today, and I completely agree as well, it's really about establishing that common ground and trying to build that trust from that first moment that you talk to someone. Because now that we're all virtual, we don't see each other. It's hard to sometimes read body language and really get a feel for what the person might be like. So for me, it's really just about trying to find common ground and just being genuine. Just be your true self. Be selfless. If someone has a need and you feel like you can connect them or help them in a certain way, just put it out there, right? Don't hold back. And I think establishing that trust up front is super, super important, because I think that goes a long way.
I love that. And I want to really hear from the audience. So tell us, as we're going through our expert panel here, what do you think? Because you have value too. We really want to hear from you. We'll take down notes. We'll get ideas as well. So put that in there. Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, my take is a little different. Growing up in a teaching family, I've been a teacher for a long time and a coach. One of the ways that I can give to my students or the coaches now that I mentor is to ask them questions, because when you empower them to feel like they have stake in the game or they have something that they can help us, I don't know that there's too many more things that are more powerful than giving somebody the opportunity to help you. Because I think when you do that, you're giving them a lot. We do that with students who are shy. We allow them to help another student, and that's more empowering. It's almost like when you give a gift at Christmas. Sometimes you're more excited to see them open the gift than you are getting a gift. And so when I do my podcast or any other programs that I do, I ask for help, and people love to give help. So I think that's a way you can be a really good giver and network with people as well.
That's excellent. I'm going to throw our banner up here because I want to bring even more people to this. We'll get people going in the chats. Our next question is, how do you be a giver on LinkedIn? So I really want to see folks in the chat blow that up. How do you give back on LinkedIn? How do you appreciate when other people are giving back on LinkedIn? I really want to hear it. So make sure you you share. Shout out your city and state if you haven't already. Give us some questions on how you can make an impact on LinkedIn. We're going to answer this LinkedIn question. We're going to go around the room and we're going to talk about how we give back. So make sure you comment and let us know what you're thinking down below in the chat, and make sure you're connecting with each other all the while, because that is what this is all about. All right. Who wants in first on how to give on LinkedIn? Go ahead. You can throw your hand up because we're all on the screen. All right. Lee Taft said he's in, right? Go ahead.
Yes, I am in. All right. So absolutely. So I think anytime you can give something of benefit to them. So like, I like to do free courses. I like to do articles. I like to do videos of maybe a demonstration or maybe a talk on how to be a giver. Just something that maybe can inspire them, that can help them. I think there's a lot of ways that you can do it, with even doing a live show like this. This is a great way to give back to people. So I think there's a number of ways to do it, but I think anytime you put people in a position where they can receive something really nice from watching you on LinkedIn or following you, I think that's a great way to network and to be a great giver.
I love that. I love that. Who wants in next? Looking at the private chat here. All right. I think Pi wants to go. Go ahead, Pi.
Thank you. I was going to say something similar. Also, just think about how we could really add value, right? So LinkedIn has such a broad reach. It has so much potential. You can literally connect with anyone in any industry, any persona, in any region in the world. So really, if you've developed a skill or you have an influential story that you think could actually touch someone else, I think the power of LinkedIn is so crucial for that. I recently taken over 25 courses through LinkedIn Learning, primarily on emotional intelligence, because there's such critical components that we just sometimes don't see in our everyday life. But if we go to LinkedIn, we see some people really showing their stories and their struggles. So I think if you can find real value and leverage the power and the reach and the expansive network that LinkedIn has to offer, very much like what we're doing now through this show, one of the folks in the audience said it, right? We give really practical advice on this show, but also, we're very genuine. So I think if you can genuinely give back and add value, then that's key, especially on LinkedIn, because it's amazing how many people you can connect with just by being your true self, right? And saying your story.
I love that. Go ahead, Ashley. Jump in.
Yeah, Pi, I completely agree. I love the genuineness that you mentioned. And, I also agree with you, Lee, on giving content and where you can add value. And that's kind of where we kind of like threw out and created our own podcast just to kind of just give more. And then we've connected it with LinkedIn just to help people with, hey, how do you create a resume? Especially with all the stuff that happened last year. A lot of people were, looking for help and trying to figure out what their next step was. So we felt like, okay, just giving content and recording it on a podcast, so this way you can kind of go back and look through it, was kind of beneficial to everyone there. So that was kind of my take on that.
All right, we're going to go over to Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
Absolutely. Yeah. Unbelievable. Great wisdom right there. And I'm just going to keep it simple. These are the obvious ones. Number one, not just liking people's posts that are in your network, but actually sharing them and actually tagging their name in there, commenting specifically with some comment of value, right? Complimenting them if you can. Obviously, authentically is a great way to add value, on LinkedIn, right? It was mentioned already. Creating video posts, creating good content is an amazing part of giving through LinkedIn. So those are just a couple of things. Make sure, again, don't just like, comment, and tag the person's name on it as well if you can.
Yeah, I think that's really critical for getting your posts out there. LinkedIn loves the algorithm, and so showing people love, sharing their content. If you notice, I've had a fashion change here, so I wanted to talk about Denise Panza, who's a former panelist on this show. So talk about giving back. And she's connecting it to her business. She has a mortgage business. She does such a great job on LinkedIn. She sent me this shirt. So another way that you can be a giver and really connect with people is through the physical stuff too. There's gifts that don't cost a lot. This is something that I was saying a lot. I continue to say, because now, like, if you're on Zoom and you haven't figured out how to unmute yourself or mute yourself at the proper time, right? That's a 2020 thing. Let's go with 2021, right? You're on mute, 2020 theme song. How many times did we hear that in 2020? It was such a funny thing. I say it all the time. She connected with it and sent me something that was very unique to me. What a great way to give back. What a great way to be a giver. What a way to be thankful. I think that's something that we can do in all of our interactions, whether we're giving something physical, is just put a little thought into how we interact with people. I know we've sort of said that over and over again. I can't tell you enough how much it means to me, and I know how much it means to others when we put thought into how we interact with folks. Today I met with somebody this morning, and they're working on 2 books, and I connected that person in Switzerland to my friend Speaker Sue in Arizona. She's written 2 books on how to say it to sell it and power sales writing. And I noticed he could definitely use that. So I connected those people right on being thoughtful in my connections. And that's how you do it, right? You make sure that you're listening, speak less, listen more, and you can give back a lot that way. Does that make sense to everybody? I think I'm getting some nods from the panel. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I know Chris loves the shirt. Chris is a big supporter. Thanks for being here every week and supporting us, doing what we're doing. Ashley, she's writing those books down. I appreciate you, Ashley. Thank you. All right. So we're going to go into our next question. And I really want questions from the audience. I want questions from the audience that are very specific to your business. What are you worried about? I want you to talk to us about how to handle takers, folks that don't seem very giving. I want questions from you, how to incorporate giving and being a better giver into your business. Ask us those specific questions so that our expert panel can do their job and you can get the price of admission here worth it for you in the sense of answering those things. If you ask a question, it'll be a great, valuable answer that will be applicable to many, many businesses and make this show better. So we really want your participation that way. So the next question is, what is perceived as taking? All right. What is perceived as taking? When you get a message on LinkedIn or in email, when do you kind of shut down, say, this person really isn't giving me anything, this person is just taking? Who wants to take that first? I'm going to throw it to Steve. I'm going to throw it to Steve just to put him on the spot, and then I'll go over to Ashley.
Yeah, well, 2 things. Number one, I really just about despise when I get the sales pitch on LinkedIn message. To me, that's just somebody who wants to take. They're just after my business, right? I'm like, hey, how about hello first? How about like, how are you? Like, how about like getting to know who I am and what my needs are before you start pitching me? That's number one. The second thing that kind of is crazy to me, and I honestly hope that this person is on listening to this. We'll see. But as you guys know, every time somebody connects with me, every time I suggest let's jump on a phone call or Zoom. And the response back was, I'm a texter. And I probably could have taken that word and just changed a few of the letters to make it a taker, because what do you mean? So it turns out he's in car sales. So I said to him, okay, great. So when I need a car, I'll text you. He said, yeah, that'd be great. I said, actually, I don't text. That's not how we do business. So no, thank you. And he said, no, you could call me. I said, oh, I thought you were a texter, excuse me. One was intentional, I guess, or whatever. But you know what? So be a giver, get to know people. To me, it's, if you don't build a connection, right? That's why master connections, right? Be a connector, right? Understand people. Otherwise, you're just taking. Otherwise, you're just trying to pitch, you're selling. It doesn't work on this platform. It doesn't work in general.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going Ashley and then Lee.
Yeah, I agree. I was literally thinking the same thing about the LinkedIn connections when you see a paragraph and you're like, I'm not quite sure what you're looking at here, what you need. And I do the same thing, Steve. If I'm connecting with someone on LinkedIn, I want to have a quick phone conversation with them or a video chat or something to get to know them and figure out, hey, how can we help each other? That's like my first thing, right? Like, how can we help each other? Everyone's trying to hopefully improve themselves and do better each day. And, you know, how can we do that? I'd say like via emails too, just kind of asking, hey, like, how can we help each other? I think that's huge.
That's amazing. All right, Lee, go ahead, jump in here.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's a great one, both Steve and Ashley. And you know, in being in my field of fitness, I don't know that there's a day that doesn't go by that on LinkedIn I don't get the really, like Ashley said, the really long post selling me a piece of equipment and not asking me if I need it, not asking me if it's something that would benefit me or anything, or even just knowing something about me. And that's always, and most of the time, you know, I mean, sometimes I will respond back to them and ask them, you know, to try to have a conversation with them or connect with them or get a quick Zoom call or whatever. But many times my name isn't even in the headline. If my name's not like, hey, Lee, how you doing? If that's not in there, a lot of times I don't even waste my time because I get so many of them anyway. If they at least say, hey, Lee, how you doing? I loved your last post. Now I know they at least know me. They know a little bit of, they followed me. And then if they go ahead and, you know, give me the sales pitch, which I'd rather them do it a different way. So I think anytime, you know, you have a platform like LinkedIn or any other of the platforms, I think having that conversation, creating that network, feeling comfortable, getting to know what the person maybe needs or wants to do, I think is really important. So, yeah, that's a great question.
I love it. I love it. And I want everybody, I loved the comment from Claudia following up on Steve's tip. On LinkedIn, you got the applause button, you got the heart button, you got the light bulb button, you got the little thoughtful thing. Guys, hit those buttons, go crazy with them. LinkedIn loves that, and we want to really see that. We're going to watch this on the replay and see what you loved. We really appreciate you. Ask those questions, get those questions in. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm muting myself. I agree with everything that's being said so far. Yes, the first thing is always, how can I help you? And then, of course, how can we help each other? But sometimes repetition of the same email loses that value. And in my opinion, that's what I would perceive as a taker and not someone reaching out and saying, I would love for us to connect so we can help each other. Where do we start? How can we, you know, meet versus, oh, this is my availability. Like, you have to make it in a way that's available for them, not necessarily so they don't come out so obvious that they're just there because they need something versus I'm here because I need something, but in return, I will help you as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, you know, that give me a purpose, right? Give me a reason. You want to connect with me. You know, I send these requests so I can meet one-on-one with people, and I put a reason down there. I'm like, I don't want you just to be another connection. I want to meet with you, understand your story so I can connect you to resources better. So if you want to connect with me, you want 5 minutes of my time, you know, I get these emails where, you know, it's just a sales call, connect with me. You know, I want to, you know, pitch you. That's what I hear. Right. And that's not something that I'm really attracted to. I love David J. Brown's comment here. Tip off to that they're a taker when they send you a LinkedIn invite to connect, and it's obvious that they never read your profile. Right. And two, their profile is written showcasing what they are selling rather than how they are helping people. I love that so much. I did a video today on motivation and why. What is your why? Why are you connecting with me? I love that so much. Go ahead, Pi.
Yeah, I was actually going to say something very similar to what David said and what you just support as well. And in addition to that, they just come off as like this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? There's an individual who will obviously keep nameless, you know, and their company, but every single message for the past 4 months has just been like, we're doing this in our company and we've created these products and we made these enhancements and this is why I think you should benefit, et cetera, et cetera. And then they actually went to the furthest degree to contact me on my work email, find my work cell in one of my signatures, sent me a bunch of text messages, and it was just like, I don't know, it just felt so like such a self-fulfilling prophecy, like I said at the start. And it just seems so relentless that, you know, it's fine to be persistent, you know, because you have to be persistent in sales, and you have to be persistent when you're trying to, you know, gain business and establish connections. But there's a limitation to that, right? And there's a style and an essence to which you go about it. And I think when you just, you know, go off your handle and try every option and exhaust all options, it obviously comes off very, you know, intrusive. And yeah, I don't know, like people tend to then become territorial and close off and have a bad, you know, reputation about that company. Like now that individual has hurt that company's reputation and that brand, right? Because now I think to myself, even if I did want to pass on that referral to someone else in my company that could benefit, I don't know if this is really a good idea, because is this person actually going to take a break, you know, and listen to what we have to say first? So
are they building the know, like, trust factor, right?
Right.
What are they doing to really show that they're a trusted contact? I love Robert Person's question. What is the difference between a taker and an asker? Because we've talked about it before on the show. I'm going to pass it over to Steve. I know he wants to jump in, but we've talked about this before. If you need something, and one of the big sort of highlights of the past year is that I've sort of given my permission to reach out and ask for an accountability partner, ask for mentorship, ask for guidance. So what is the difference between, because that could also be construed as, I'm just taking. What's the difference between an asker and a taker? A taker, not a tasker. I don't know what that is. All right, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, there's many ways to go with this one, right? I think we well established what taker is. I think an asker you can go a lot of different ways. I think that asking questions is an amazing communication skill, right? Asking questions about people's goals, what their long-term vision is, what their pain is in their life. You know, how could we help you? How could I be a better resource for you? Asking questions is tremendous. So being an asker is great. So it's so different, right? Now, I think maybe what Robert's saying, and by the way, Robert and I had an amazing conversation just about a week ago, and great to see you on the show here, Robert. Looking forward to connecting again this weekend. But, you know, I think what he might be asking, and if you want to clarify it in the comments, but what he's asking is asking for business maybe, and what's the difference? And listen, you know, being in the sales world, right, that's probably the hardest part of sales is asking for business, right? But if you've already established what the need is, and you've asked what their timing is, and you've asked all the right questions, then that last question is simple because you've already know where they're at, right? So, but again, it starts with relationship. I want to just piggyback off of what Pi said. You can't just going and all these texts and emails, and that's not how you connect, and it's not really how you can really build relationships and find needs. I try to keep my communication short, so that I could get on a call or get on a video or whatever it is, right? Or face-to-face back when we're not locked down. So those so important to me. And that is make sure you're really communicating with people the right way.
I love it. And you can keep on going, because I think we got a kind of a follow-up question that is very much connected to this, right? So question, not every connection is well received on both ends. What is the best way to turn someone down or deny their request to create a connection? Tim Jiraki, thank you so much for the question. I think this is one of those things where you get somebody that may not be somebody that you're excited about. I know I had one guy that was asking me questions before we kind of knew each other. And he was like, how many hours in the day he's somebody that does like stress management, stress relief. So he kept on peppering me with these questions, which I just felt like, dude, I don't know you. You're asking questions that are way too personal, at least for me. And I don't, it feels salesy, and I don't feel comfortable taking my time to answer these questions that feel like almost like Facebook questions from my family versus a business connect. So how do you guys handle that? Not every connection is well received on both ends. What is the best way to turn someone down or deny their request to create a connection? Steve, do you want to jump in, or does somebody else want to jump into this?
Okay, I'll say something. Hey, listen, I mean, the truth is, I don't know any other way when somebody does a connect request, either you accept it, you don't. I don't know if there's a better way that you could do that. So if somebody knows in the audience, let me know. So I just either accept or deny. But a big part, and we've covered this in some of the other shows, is that it's your profile, right? A lot of it's your profile, your picture, what you say in your profile. You know, I loved what one of the viewers said about, Mr. Brown said about, you know, is your profile say about how you've helped other people, not what you're selling, right? So yeah, just making sure you add value. But again, I don't know how to answer it, because other than on LinkedIn, it's either accept or deny. And so I don't know how else you could do it. Maybe somebody else has better wisdom than I do on that.
Mahana, do you want to jump in? I know I'm murdering your name. I apologize. Thank you for your patience with me. Magena.
It's McGenna.
McGenna. My goodness. All right. I got to write it down in front of me. Thanks. Go ahead.
How turn someone down? Well, if it's through an email, I always respond by saying that I will reach out if I need anything in the future. If it's through a LinkedIn invite, if I don't want to accept, I don't decline it either, but I just leave it there for a while and then read more, think about it, rather than just declining the request right away. But I agree with Steve 100%. There is no right or wrong answer when you don't connect with certain people that come your way. And not about because we're being selective, but you already know why you're not accepting that person. So if it makes you feel better, then you go for it. Decline them knowing that it's because of X, Y, and Z reason.
I accept a lot of requests. Matter of fact, thank you everybody that's watching. That is a connection. I hit 3,000 connections today. Thank you for your mentorship on this, Steve. It's wonderful, and I really am enjoying it because my calendar is booked to April with one-to-one, face-to-face appointments, so I can make those warm connections with those connections, so they are truly people in my network. So appreciative of that. Definitely set that up with me. I know Lee wants to jump in here. I just want to say, you know, if somebody doesn't feel like the right groove for you, I wouldn't think about it too much. Shut it down, move on. Life is too short to worry about it. If they really care about connecting with you, it's not that hard usually to find you again and provide real value. So if you're reaching out to a celebrity or somebody that you want as a mentor and it's not working out, my thing is, if they didn't automatically respond to you, they didn't automatically get back to you, that's the way life is. That's sales. Follow up, and add some value, and chances are that'll work out for you. Go ahead, Lee. Jump in here.
Yeah, just real quick, because everybody kind of hit it here after I had said I would like in. But I just think, and I kind of get these quite a bit, and I just will say, especially if it's someone there's potential benefit for both of us, I'll say, hey, really appreciate the connection. Hope you're doing well. My plate is really full right now. Maybe in a couple months we can revisit and we can connect on whatever it is. So I just, you know, I appreciate people reaching out if it seems genuine. But literally, if I don't have the time right now to go any further, it's just, hey, my plate's full. I'm sure you're busy as well. Maybe we can revisit our connection in a couple months.
That's awesome. And I want to just shout out our audience. Ray, thanks for providing value. David Brown, thanks for providing value. Michelle Lippin says, another disappointment is when recruiters reach out to you because you match 2 words or phrases in their search, but they never really looked at your total LinkedIn profile and then ghost you. Yeah, it gets emotional, doesn't it? I get some head nods on that and get me some hearts and whatnot in the thing. Some of this stuff can get really emotional. Through email, I say no to sales pitches by being transparent and tell them that I value their time in developing new business. And since I don't have business for them, that their valuable time would be better spent on someone else. You know, it's a nice way to do it, Sean. I think that's a way to do it. And I sometimes even go a step further and recommend somebody that I think is a good fit, especially if I know they're connected to people that I know. So build that know, like, trust factor and build your community. We've got some fans of Magena. I'm going to say the name right now. All right. Alan says, what if you accept an invite and then feel it was the wrong move? So that's exactly what I was talking about before. I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in on that. I'm going to keep going through comments and we'll let people go rapid fire. I see you, Steve. So I'll let you respond to that. Alan Greenwald, ignore them. I somewhat agree with that, Ray. Sometimes that's just the best way to do it. Then I also talked about maybe ignoring it, letting it linger, maybe go back to it. Sometimes you can be emotional when you're getting these things too. Your attitude can be a part of it. So maybe get up and take a walk around the chair and sit back down, and maybe you'll have a fresh opinion on it, right? And then Scott says, Steve Spiro, I get a lot of notes that say something like, I'm growing my network and I'd like to add you. What do you think of those? So I'm glad that's the lead in. Steve, it's your floor.
Yeah, I mean, so, whether you put a note on your LinkedIn message request to me or not, it doesn't matter. I was going to address, whether connect. And I know we're taking this off of LinkedIn too with emails, and I'm staying on LinkedIn for this topic. For me, I'll look at their profile, but for the most part, almost everybody I will accept, and then, the jury's out, right? So what's that first message to me or the response to me back? Are they pitching me? Are they gonna actually get on a call with me? And then I'll decide, maybe I need to unconnect. That's the good news. Just because you connect with somebody doesn't mean you can unconnect with them. You can, of course, right? So I would definitely recommend that. And I'm not a big believer of the notes. Sometimes it helps. I don't typically do it. It can help. Like if we just, connected through some other platform and we want to bring it over here and there's a little context, it's helpful. But notes or no notes, it doesn't matter to me. Your profile and then how you act after we connect is really what I'm really more interested in.
Love it. All right. Who else wants to jump into the conversation here on this? Everybody's kind of looking back like we've said it. All right. So the next question I'm going to ask is, Ashley said she's going to jump in, and then Pi. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, if they don't say anything or if they do say something, just keep it short. But I think we all need to remember that we're all humans. I think people seem to forget because we're on technology that, you can't be crass or you're talking to another human. So just remember that, right? And keep it like you would, however you would like to be treated, right? I mean, I think just keeping that in the back of your head is smart.
Yeah, I love it. All right. And Pi wants to jump in here. Go ahead, Pi.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. The only thing I would add is, we have choices, right? So we're not forced into making connections or accepting people if we don't want to. So, I think someone else had said it earlier. If we get, I think McGinnis said it best. I think she said that, if you see a connection coming through, you can decide, right? You can sort of let it be for a bit. You can revisit it. Sometimes they might send a follow-up if they didn't receive a response from you right away. And they might say, hey, I want to connect with you because of X, Y, and Z purpose. And then you have a choice, right? And I just wanted to put that out there that, I agree completely with what Ashley said. First and foremost, we're human. And two, we have choices. So we shouldn't feel compelled or obligated to just do what we don't want to do,
I love it. Jenna's going to jump in here. Go ahead.
The next question, or to continue on this?
No, you can keep going if you have something to say, or you can get into the next question. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is what are free examples that everyone can use for giving back. I really want to hear from the audience as well. I'll just go to it. So we got everybody on the screen here. So from my audience here, please let us know what examples of giving back. I know I mentioned it. I connect people to other people on LinkedIn. That's a great way. I'd love for us all to sort of hit on that. Like, how do you refer people to other people? Because that's sort of what LinkedIn is all about, referring people to other people. I meet with people so that I can connect them to other people. And who did I learn that from? I learned that from Steve Spiro, the master connector, right? So providing value. I've told the story before on this show. One of the best things that sort of changed my life in terms of talking with Steve Spiro. He recommended this book by Michael Gruber called The E-Myth Revisited that really talks about documenting things within your business. I wish I read it 9 years ago. It showcased the fact that he's a smart guy, he's well-read, and it was something that was truly helpful for my business. So what are some free examples of things that you can do or that have been done for you that show that somebody is giving to you? And then what's some good examples on the business side, right? I showed off my You're on Mute 2020 theme song shirt. That was great. So, what items can you send? What things can you provide that are meaningful? I think we've all received something probably in the mail that we're like, what is this? I have a feeling that it's a lot around thought, but I'd love everybody's individual take on it. So with that said, Jenna, jump into this. Go ahead.
I wouldn't call time an item, but the best gift that I have received and will hopefully continue to receive is the time of someone, them picking up my call, giving me an advice. As far as items, I find books the next most valuable because someone took the time to read the book and they're generous enough to share that title, and hopefully I will enjoy the book and appreciate it just as much. And if not, that's fine as well. But if you think about the time that was put into reading this book, that could take weeks, sometimes months, and someone to share that with you, I find that amazing. And again, the list is long, but from a business perspective, being that I'm in business development, we always have to be creative and sensitive about what we send out there for our friends and family. So it could be like a nice scarf with a logo, and it's a selfish gift because it keeps you warm, sends a warm message, and you can share with your family. Everyone can use it. It's a great advertisement tool.
I love it. And I think the time thing is big, right? It isn't an item, and it does cost money, and it's one of the things that we all have, and we can't get back. So I frankly, when we talk about feelings and sensitivity, I think the biggest turnoff, the biggest way I know somebody is a taker is if they waste my time, and that can be with a salesy note or just not really wanting to connect with me, just pitching me, and that's something that I sort of take offense to. Go ahead, jump in here, Lee.
Yeah, no, I like those. Obviously, those are great examples, but I really, I like kind of like I believe Cameron, you mentioned this, is being able to connect. I think if somebody reaches out to me, I try to stay in my lane. So if somebody's asking me to be involved with them on something that's kind of outside of my lane of expertise, I'm real big on saying, hey, give me a minute, give me a day or two. I got somebody that I think would be a great connection. Let me check with them to see if they're available. So trying to create that type of connection for people, I think, is a great way to help them, because I probably wouldn't be as much service as they thought when they first reach out to me. But if I can give them something that is spot on to what they're looking for, and I took the time to do that, I think that's a great way to give back to someone.
I love that. Go ahead, jump in, Pi.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is, and I don't know if this sounds a little cliche, but it's really to listen. So I love Meganna's point about time, because when you give someone the time, you give them the opportunity to just listen to what they have to say, right? It could be something simple that they say that they need, something grand. And if you can just really, really articulate, listen to what they have to say, and then articulate that connection in your mind and say to yourself, okay, you know what? This individual is struggling with something personally or professionally. I have another person in my network, maybe a life coach or a fitness trainer or someone that can benefit from that. You put them in touch, right? And then I think that the second part of your question is, what's the best gift received? Again, I think it goes back to really, really listening to what that person's struggling with. So if someone says they're struggling with, sleep apnea as an example, right? Or struggling with being able to manage their time or something like that, you send them a little something. So, I recently received a gift of a little sound machine, and because I was saying to a LinkedIn connection of mine that my daughter struggles with sleep, and they sent me a sleep machine. And I thought that was a phenomenal gift personally, because one, I looked into it. It was a small business. I then sent additional sleep machines to my friends who have little toddlers who can't sleep. So it's just a way of listening, being proactive, making that super connection mentally, and being able to give back where people need it the most. That's what I have to say from the heart.
I love it. Steve's going to jump in here. Guys, if you're in the comments and you asked a question that I haven't gotten to, make sure you repost it. You guys are excellent. You guys are awesome. I'm loving that there's so many comments going on. We got a lot of people watching right now. So if there's a question you have, repost it so I can get it up here so we can get it answered for you. Steve, go ahead and jump in.
So I'm going to say something that might, I'm not sure how you all are going to take it, but the best thing you could give is you. And here's what I mean by that. You need to really make sure that you're building you up and growing your self-esteem, your self-concept, through self-development, right? And the more that you feel good about you, the more you'll believe that you add value. I like to believe, and I don't mean this in an egotistical way. I hope this comes across with the right spirit. But I believe that whatever room that I go into, I am adding value. Whoever I speak to, I feel like I'm adding value. So definitely grow you so that you're kind of like a cup overflowing. And every time you get around people, you have something to give them, something to offer. Certainly I have a big network, but I also have, as Kevin said, I love books. Now that I found Audible, and because I'm learning disabled dyslexic, and reading was torturous for me. So Audible books, I'm going through like 2 or 3 books a month, and it's great. And I could give, drop nuggets of wisdom and drop bombs on people. And it's great. But again, you got to feel good about you. And that took some time. It's taken some years for me to get to that place, but definitely you should feel you are the biggest gift.
I love that. And I want to make sure that everybody knows Pi is getting some serious love from the audience. People loving what she just said. And I think, that thoughtful gift, listening to people, getting that, you can't go wrong with that, right? It's very tough to go wrong with that. I got some great comments and I could throw them all on the screen, but then they block half our faces. So I'm going to read some of these. I always try to add value by connecting people, sharing resources and information that can help others, and commenting on a post that is complimentary or could be helpful to others. Listen, we talked about it before during the show. Such a great way. It costs you nothing to comment, share. Maybe it costs you a little bit of time, but again, we talked about it. That's a big deal, and people really appreciate that. On Clubhouse right now, so much advice on the social thing is you want to connect somebody in the sphere. Just get into their DMs, get into the comments, support what they're putting out there. You do that enough, and suddenly the person that you're a fan of is a fan of you, and they really enjoy the fact that you're supporting them, and they're going to do a lot to support you. We got some long comments here. Ray says, THNKS is a great app website that you can send a cheap Starbucks gift card and many other little thank yous. Sometimes a $10 gift card to Starbucks impresses the highest execs because you took the time to say thank you. And I love that point, Ray. Absolutely. I want to give a shout out to my man, Brayless Penna. Always snazzily dressed, both in person on the Zoom and in his LinkedIn profile. Sean said, but time is important and valuable, and sometimes someone just taking the time to reach out and check in on how you are doing, especially to someone in your network who is in the job search, is huge. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Joseph says, relate to the issue they want to discuss. Believe you are there to help, and don't be afraid to relate personal experience to help them. That's so big. I mean, I think one of the things, both Steve and I are part of Master Networks, and there's this thing called Bond, and it's like listening to people's story so you can find that commonality so that you can address with your story and what you're talking about the commonality that you have together so that it actually makes sense to them. Joseph, such a great comment. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that. Claudia says, awesome, Steve. Thank you, everyone. Great tips. And more love for Pi. Great job. All right, who wants to jump in here? I got love in the back of the house for folks. Jenna saying, giving love. All right, who wants to sort of jump into another topic? Does anybody want to take this in a different direction? Steve, you want to take this in a different direction? I'm waiting for questions from the audience. I'm going to
I think the biggest challenge, I think, with being a giver and a taker, I think that you hear a lot is, and I think somebody in the audience asked it. I don't know if we answered it specifically, but I saw the question and I got it today. What do you do when someone is just a taker? right? And I don't mean when they're reaching out. I mean someone in your network already that you already know that's a taker. So I'd like to throw that out to the audience, and also the panelists, and see if they have any thoughts. Can you turn it around? Can you lead by example? Do you just kind of leave them alone? I'd like to hear what everyone has to say about that.
I'm going to say this, you know, I think it's a great question, and I think it's one that the audience is thinking about, but I think we should think less about it. I think we should move on. We got better things to do. I think one of the secrets to productivity is one foot in front of the other, and I'm going to serve the people that are serving me. And hopefully that makes sense to everybody. If you like that in the audience, I definitely appreciate some backup on that. Go ahead, Pi. I know you want to jump in.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest advice that I've learned over the course of 2020 is just to take the higher ground. So when you see that you're experiencing someone that is just relentlessly selfish, just always taking from you, just literally taking the life out of you, you know what? Take the moral ground. I know it's not easy. I'll be the first one to say it's the hardest thing to do. But there is a silver lining if you actually want to see it. So if you want to see the silver lining in the dark cloud, you also have to become that silver lining. So if someone's just out there and they're, you know, just sucking up all that energy and making it toxic and whatever it might be, it could be personal, it could be professional, it could be through a network, it could be through emails, it could be in meetings, it could just be in your daily lives. You have to take the higher ground. You have to hold high to your morals, keep your head up, and just know that it's not you, it's them, you know, and you almost feel sorry for them because, you know, it's really easy to get sucked into that, and it's really easy to react. But resistancy is actually a superpower, and that's the biggest thing I can say I've learned in 2020.
That's amazing. I want to challenge everybody here. What's one way they've given this week? I'd love to go around the panel and just talk about that. I'll let somebody go first that wants it, and then I'll just kind of go around. Who wants it first? Not everybody all at once, guys. Come on.
Right. You know me, I don't like silence. So I'll go.
Go
Yeah. So the question was, what is one of the things you've given this week? Is that what the question?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've invited a few people on the show, right? I mean, if I really believe I can help them, and I think there's a mutual beneficial, I'm going to invite them on the show. Now, not everybody in the audience has a show to invite them to. But there's definitely something in your life you can invite them to. So I believe that's a big part of it. First thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, I love this. I'm going to talk this. Coach Glow's backing me up. So I got to read a comment. All right. I back you up, Cameron. I love the money requests for their fundraisers, invites to their events, to their social media pages, but I can't get them to like my page. Yes, I take the high road. Yeah, I mean, it's really frustrating. I know everybody's time is valuable. Everybody wants to, I don't know. It's a tough thing. I can't answer the question on why, Coach Glow. I just know that's the way it is. And so it's just about continuing to provide value, and you will find the fans out there that will take care of you. Go ahead, Ashley. I know you were next. Go ahead.
No, I was going to mention, Coach Glow, you said, you can't get them to like your page. Have you asked them? I find sometimes I don't do the asking either, right? I try to give and then I forget to ask for what I need. So maybe try asking. Of course, couth is always needed, but ask for it. Going back to your main question about what we've done recently to help someone. I come across.
Before you say that, Ashley, just 1 second before you say that, I apply that to me. I think it's such a great point, and I wanted to stop it right there for a moment to provide that value. Sometimes we take events that people aren't doing what they want us to do. Are you asking what I said? I'd love some love in the comments, what people think about that. But one of the things, if I feel I'm providing value with my YouTube show that I go live with every day at 11 a.m., I don't often get on there and say, hey, I want you to be on here every day. I'm like, well, that's a lot of time. I wouldn't necessarily want to do that. But I've gotten to the point where I'm saying, well, listen, I'm bringing people on here that are power hitters. I had Leslie Short yesterday on diversity and inclusion. It's a message that everybody wants to hear. Just to Steve's point and Ashley's point, guys, if you want people to like your page, don't ask once or send some notification through the social media app and think that's all you need to do. It's not the way you get your kids to do anything. It's probably not the way you get your friends to do anything. It's probably not the way you get your boss to do anything. You need to follow up and ask and ask. If you want it, grab it. And I'm going to say, because Ashley's speaking, so she can speak to the women in the audience about how important it is to speak up for yourself. I got my 14-year-old daughter, I got my wife, and that's always a thing that we're always talking about. Go and get yours, ask for it, and when the opportunity presents itself, don't be shy about it. Go ahead, Ashley.
Oh, no, I was going to jump back in and talk about what we've done to help someone this week. I have found myself going in to ask someone for something and then realizing, oh, they need help finding a job and they need help, whatever, curtailing their resume and creating it, or interview help. So because they're not working, right? So I've just kind of found myself just diving in and helping them on that and helping them present themselves in the best light. But that's been really rewarding to me, because that's what I love to do, is help people find, doing something they love to do, and providing for their family.
I love that. Lee, you're next. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just actually just finished it up this morning, but I shot a 7-week video workout series for tennis. I work a lot in the sport of tennis, and it's free to my followers. And so we're going to get that up hopefully today. And all they got to do is just reach out, let us know they want it, and they can have it. So I think during this time, especially, it's been a rough year for all of us, especially in the fitness industry with things. So this is one way that I wanted to kind of help out.
I love that. All right. And we're going to go to Magena. Go ahead, Magena.
One way of giving back. Just this week, I set up a coffee get together with a few friends I haven't seen for at least 8-9 months, and it was just amazing to see them, and it was much needed. So that human touch, letting them know that we're here for one another, that we exist, that we are not robots, that we're not communicating now through computers. So it felt great just by being able to put that together and seeing that everyone is smiling. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right, Pa, you're going to jump in here?
Yeah, I was going to say the biggest thing that I've done this past week is showing empathy. And it's not just this week. It's just I've shown probably a lot more empathy in the past week, mainly just because I've had 2 very, very good friends lose their moms. And having lost my mom myself, I can empathize, right? And it's sadly a way that I've connected with them, but in the more positive light. As Sophie just said, just supporting people, right? Showing people that you do know what it's like to walk a mile in their shoes, and reaching out to their heart and soul. It just goes such a long way, whether you make an anonymous donation, whether you just stop by and leave something on their doorstep. There's so many ways to give back and show empathy where it doesn't have to be so overt and public. But just showing that little token of appreciation and love is crucial. It's so crucial and impactful right now. And it speaks volumes.
I love that. And did any of the women on the panel, I don't want to put you on the spot too hard, but I think it's really important for that point before, for women to be supported and going after what they want. I mean, we're experiencing a moment where, we got more diversity coming into Congress than ever before, but I still see it where, and to Coach Glow, who actually threw it in, and I'm going to coach Glow a little bit here, because I did a video on this today. Motivate others, motivate yourself, talk about your why, and then make it easy. So one of the reasons that nobody's going to go to your page on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, Coach Glow, is you didn't make it easy. it's easy enough to grab that link, get your Word document, copy and paste those links in there, and just make it one click away. Don't make it complicated for me to do you a favor, right? Don't make it complicated for me to do you a favor. That being said, ask all day and make it easy for people to help your business and help you out. We're in the final round here. So Steve, I'm going to let you kind of set us up for the close here. Thank our panelists, and then have some closing remarks, because I know we're already at 3:03, but this was such a great conversation, so meaningful, so worthwhile. Everybody needs to have a little bit more empathy in their heart. So really appreciate that message. And I don't know if any of the women want to speak to that, that I put out there, but I think it's so important. I've seen women come in on the waiters and bartenders and kitchen assistants and chefs. And I got men with like half the resume, and they got all this confidence and they're asking for it. And then I have the women that, you know, comparably have 10 times the resume, and, you know, they're saying sorry and they're not really asking for it. So man, women, ask for it, get it. I want you to see you in your full self. Go out there and get it, and demand your time on the stage. So I'm going to be the male and shut up and let everybody have their time. Go ahead, Steve.
I mean, yeah, that was great, Cameron. Obviously, very, very true. And listen, you know, one of the things I wanted to say is we need to be the example. We need to set the pace of what we want the world to be, and not, you know, if you want more people to be givers, we need to be givers ourselves, right? So we need to be a light. I think this was great. The panelists were amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you getting on here, and all the folks on the audience. It's been an amazing panel. I think it's added great value for a lot of people, which really is what we're looking to do here. That's what the Master Connection series is all about. We really want to make sure we're bringing value for all you folks. So appreciate all the panelists. Cameron, as usual, you're the man. Appreciate all that you do behind the scenes, the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain there. I appreciate you, sir. And I'll turn it back to you.
All right, we're just going to go round robin here. So I'm going to go Magenta, and then Lee, and then Pi, and then Ashley close us out here. So go ahead, Magenta, final statement. I know, putting Magenta on the spot. She's like, what?
I'm waiting for the question.
Just what you want to leave people with.
Yes. Be grateful. I'm an immigrant. I could have never imagined to be part of this amazing group and the amazing network that I have built over the years. And every day, just be grateful and always ask, just like I asked Steve to be a part of this panel, and later on thinking, what was I thinking? But I don't regret it. And be yourself, smile. It doesn't cost you anything. And as Mother Teresa quotes, and she's Albanian as well, so I'm very proud. You know, a smile, a kind word could be short and simple, but it echoes forever and forever. So I just want to leave you guys with that message, and I look forward to future panel. Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, Lee, jump in. And Lee, just before you go, I'm just going to show some cards here. Make sure I highlight our man, our sponsor, Mr. Sean Lashley of 10K Cards. All our panelists are going to get a digital card. You can actually hold your camera up to the screen, and you can use your camera there, and that'll link to Steve Spiro. And he is the master connector, so he can link you to all of our panelists today. I encourage you to link up and connect with all of our folks that were on the panel today. Make sure you like their stuff, comment, blow them up, get real viral with it. We really want you to show your love and appreciation for them. There is mine.
That's the one you want to do right there.
So guys, thank you so much. Lee, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. This was amazing. I really appreciate it. And I guess one of the things I would say, and I teach this to my own kids, my own children, is you know, don't always think somebody wants something from you. You're going to know if that's the case. But if you're always walking around with a shield around you, man, it's hard to let go. It's hard to be a part of the party and enjoy things. And that was something I even had to learn. And now I'm like, you know, if somebody's going to take advantage of me, I'll learn. But you know what? It's just like it's been mentioned many times today, is, you know, smiling, being friendly, helping people, reaching out. If they take advantage of you, okay, then you can move on. But I just think sometimes we guard ourselves too much, so we never let ourselves actually get out in front of people and help them. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you for letting me be a part of this. This was awesome.
Thank you so much, Lee. Go ahead, Pi.
Yeah, I just want to say a few short things. First and foremost, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. So thank you so much to you, Cameron, and Steve, and to the panelists. I thoroughly enjoyed meeting all of you and the audience. And really quick tidbits is be the change you want to see in this world. Stay humble, stay true. I guarantee you there's going to be an aura about you. If you are your true authentic self, that's just going to burst out and radiate itself, and people will just magnetize. You'll be a magnet. You know, people will gravitate towards you. They'll feel your energy. They'll be elated by your energy. They'll want to connect with you. They'll want to build a relationship with you. So stay humble, stay true, and just be happy. Just live, because that's what last year has really taught us, is that life is precious. And if you dwell on the little things and you just take advantage of things and people around you, you're gonna miss out. So just be who you are, and people will come to you. Good things will happen for you. I promise.
Love that.
Much love.
Ashley, you're up.
I love that, Pi. Yes, thank you guys so much. Cameron, Steve, the panelists, all of the people typing in questions and giving us shout outs. That was awesome. This was so much fun. And I guess my last few words are just, relationships are reciprocal eventually, right? So help someone out. I'm sure they will help you out. Ask. And, just remember that we're all human, and, just keep that human gratitude and thankfulness, and we'll just have fun living.
I love that. I'm going to say, from my part, I am so appreciative of everybody. We live in challenging times. I always say this is the best time ever, ever, ever. You have so many vehicles to communicate. We're on LinkedIn Live. We've had still even now, late in the presentation, after the 3 o'clock hour, we still have 28 people watching. So thank you so much for participating in this. I hope you're connecting with each other. It is so much fun to host this. I'm going to just put this word in. If you like connecting with people, you like hearing people's stories, come to BizDev Live Networking on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. You know how to get in touch with me, connect with me, and I'll get you into that. Come back next Friday at 2 p.m. We're going to have another expert panel. It's so much fun. It's a great place to connect, great place to find energy. We got more people each week. This is something where we've actually caught, I think, a little bit of electricity. We've caught some fire with this, and just honored to be a part of it. Thank you all for participating. We brought so much value today. I think we gave and we gave and we gave some more. And not only did we give, I think the people watching gave, and that is such a beautiful thing. I pass it to Mr. Steve Spiro, the Master Connector. Please close us out.
Well, guys, listen, there's so much great stuff to say. I don't want to say too much here, but just listen. I said it before. We are the light. I think people are hurting right now. We're in a people are in a dark place. We're feeling isolated because of COVID, and we are the light. So reach out, make connections. Again, like Cameron said, people on the chats here, reach out to people, connect with people. Don't be afraid to reach out. It's important. People are hurting right now, and I appreciate everybody on this. Definitely check out Cameron's events, his YouTube channel. Please make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn if we aren't connected already, as well as on check out my subscribe on my YouTube channel. But this was great. I look forward to next week. And as I always say, as my good friend A.B. Gabor says, I don't know if he's listening, but crush it.
Thank you so much for everybody for watching. That's a wrap for us. Come back next week, 2 p.m. on Friday, Eastern time. Like, share, shout out your city and state, question, comment. Guys, if you had a question and it wasn't answered today, make sure you leave it in the comments. We will get to it. We'll get back to you. We love you. We love the participation. We're all givers. We're not takers. We're going to make sure that we're taking care of you. Amy, thanks for that. My takeaway is always look for ways to be helpful. Chris, thank you for your participation. Ray, man, big shout out. Thanks for bringing people in the door today. We love you. Katie, really thank you. You had some great points. Ray again, Ben Fish, Alka, too many to count. I got to close it out, guys, but we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.